Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really zeroing in on something, well, fundamental. It's about our mental health, how it often just gets lost in the hustle and bustle.
Absolutely. It's so easy to overlook.
We all know it's important, right?
Yeah.
But actually making it a priority, living that's what we want to dig into today.
Definitely. And we've been listening to this really interesting conversation from the EDP English Dialogue podcast over on YouTube.
Right.
And what really jumped out, their core idea, was how mental and physical health aren't separate things at all.
Totally interconnected.
Exactly. They need the same kind of attention, the same level of importance. So yeah, our mission here is to pull out some real, actionable things you can do, turn it from just talk into, well, reality.
Okay, so this podcast discussion, it really focuses on making a shift, doesn't it? We get it intellectually, but how do we actually prioritize it day to day?
Well, one thing they hit on, which I think resonates with a lot of people, is this pressure, this idea that you always have to be on, always productive. They said rest can feel like a luxury. And that really hits home, right?
It does. Like it's something you earn, not something you just need.
Exactly. And we push and push, often ignoring those quieter signs until we hit a wall.
Yeah, the breaking point. Instead of noticing the subtle signals earlier on.
So the question becomes, how do we change that narrative? How do we give ourselves that care before it gets critical? Like ongoing maintenance?
Right, like preventative care for the mind.
Precisely. And they offered some, very practical starting points. Things like journaling.
Even just for a few minutes.
Yeah, or short meditation, maybe just going for a quick walk, or even just calling a friend. Simple stuff.
But powerful when you actually do it consistently. It's the cumulative effect. Right?
That's their emphasis. Small things, regularly.
And I found this idea of self-awareness really interesting, using it like a compass.
Tell me more.
Well, instead of just getting swamped by stress or anxiety, you recognize those feelings as signals, like, okay, what's this telling me I need right now?
That's a great way to put it. It prompts you to take action rather than just react emotionally. Pausing and asking, okay, what do I really need here?
Which leads into setting boundaries, something they talked about specifically with work.
Ah, yes, the notifications example. That was powerful.
It was turning off work notifications. Sounds simple, maybe even a bit scary at first.
Right, that initial discomfort.
But the speaker found it actually boosted their mood, made them feel, what was the phrase? More human.
More human, yeah. It disconnects you from that constant demand.
And that ties into saying no as well, doesn't it? Another boundary.
Definitely. The power of saying no. It sounds easy.
But it's really not. For many people, we overcommit.
And then our own needs just fall by the wayside. Which brings us back to rest.
Yes, they were very clear on this. Rest isn't lazy.
Not at all. It's essential. It's recharging. It fuels creativity. It helps stabilize your mood. It's productive in its own way.
Productive in its own way. I like that framing. It reframes it completely.
It does. And then the conversation shifted towards something really important, getting professional help.
Yeah, tackling the stigma that still hangs around, unfortunately.
And they framed it really well, I thought. Not as admitting defeat or weakness.
No, quite the opposite.
Right, as a sign of self-improvement, like going to a doctor for a physical issue. Makes perfect sense when you put it like that.
One speaker shared their own experience, feeling apprehensive at first.
Which is totally normal.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then finding that non-judgmental space with a therapist and realizing, okay, my feelings are valid, they matter.
And that shifted their whole perspective from feeling like they failed to, like they were growing stronger internally.
Big shift.
Huge.
Yep.
And it's not just therapy, right? They broaden the idea of support.
Support groups, online communities.
Even just close friends you can rely on.
Yeah.
Building that network so you're not going through things alone.
So important. Okay, what about those daily rituals, the small, consistent things?
Yeah, they gave examples like gentle stretching or deep breathing in the morning.
Or just a short walk after lunch. Tiny things.
Tiny things, but they add up. They create this buffer against daily stress. Build resilience over time.
Weaving moments of calm into the day intentionally.
Exactly. And tied to that is recognizing the early warnings before things escalate.
Right. They mentioned things like increased irritability.
Fatigue that doesn't seem to go away.
Yeah, just feeling disconnected, a bit numb, maybe.
Yeah. And their point was crucial. Ignoring these signs doesn't work. They just get louder.
So it really comes back to prevention, being proactive.
Absolutely. Which led them into another fascinating area, our internal dialogue, self-talk.
Oh, this is a big one. How we talk to
Yeah,
ourselves.
the impact of that negative inner critic.
Yeah.
And the need to consciously reshape it.
Not about, like, fake positivity.
No, not at all. More about being fair and, well, compassionate with yourself.
They gave examples like switching from I'm failing to, what was it?
I'm learning. Or if you're overwhelmed, instead of I can't handle this, it's acknowledging it's hard, but maybe recalling past times you did cope or breaking it down.
Right. Small, manageable steps.
It's about self-compassion, really, treating yourself like you'd treat a friend.
That really landed for me because we're often so much harder on
We
ourselves.
are. And this isn't just an individual thing, is it? Prioritizing our own mental well-being has wider ripple effects.
Definitely. On relationships, on society.
When we're in a better place internally, we tend to have more patience, more empathy.
More understanding for others. It makes sense.
They painted this picture of a world where mental health is tended to just as carefully as physical health.
Imagine that.
The impact would be huge, right? Better emotional intelligence, communication, stronger communities.
So it's not selfish at all. It's foundational for us and for everyone around us.
Exactly. Foundational.
So wrapping this up, the main takeaway really seems to be about being intentional.
Mm-hmm. Intentional about breaks, boundaries, self-care,
Yeah.
making conscious choices.
And being more open about how we're feeling. That vulnerability they mentioned, it helps dissolve the shame, the isolation.
So important. Connection is key.
And look, if you're listening and things feel really tough right now, please know you're not alone.
Absolutely not.
Like the podcast stressed, there are resources, hotlines, online groups, professionals. Please reach out.
Please do. And if you're feeling generally okay, now's actually the perfect time to build those foundations.
Preventative steps.
Yeah, get those routines going, learn some coping strategies, practice being kinder to yourself. It builds that resilience for when things do get tough.
The goal, really, that vision from the source, it's about building a community where checking in is normal.
Where asking for help is seen as strength.
And where well-being, mental and physical, is just a
Yeah.
priority for real.
A worthy goal.
Yeah.
So maybe the final thought for everyone listening is, what's one small thing, just one actionable step you can take today to intentionally prioritize your mental well-being?
Just one thing. Because those small, consistent efforts, they really do add up. They can make a significant difference over time.